Research shows that 88% of the population are not metabolically healthy. Are you one of the 88% or one of the 12%? Stay tuned to this video because I'm going to walk you through the markers of metabolic syndrome so you will know which category you fall into. Metabolic syndrome used to be called Syndrome X, and many doctors today are referring to it as Insulin Resistance Syndrome. There are 5 major markers used to diagnose this metabolic disorder. But first, why does this even matter? Metabolic disorders are not just about metabolic rate or how many calories you burn in a day. Metabolism is the sum total of all chemical reactions in the body, synthesizing proteins for muscle, bones, and organs, producing and using hormones, fighting off infections, and even digesting your food. Currently, about 10% of the population has type 2 diabetes, and about 1/3 of the population is on track to becoming diabetic. They are pre-diabetic. And tens of thousands of them have no idea. But metabolic disorders are not just about diabetes, but also about heart disease, autoimmune conditions, obesity, hormone disorders, infertility, sexual dysfunction, and even cancer. Nearly every chronic disease is related. So what are the 5 signs? Number 1, waist circumference. Greater than 35 inches for women or 40 inches for men when measured at the level of the navel in a relaxed state. So no sucking in your gut when you do this measurement. Number 2 is high triglycerides. Greater than 150 milligrams per deciliter on a standard fasting lipid panel is the marker for metabolic disorder. So now that we've covered the first 2 of the 5 signs, how are you faring so far? Drop your results below in the comments. Number 3 is a low HDL or good cholesterol. There's a lot of new information coming out on the optimal cholesterol numbers, and sadly, we've been misled for decades. But that's a topic for a different day. As of now, experts do agree that having a higher HDL is protective from heart disease. Metabolic disorders are defined as an HDL less than 40 milligrams per deciliter in men and less than 50 milligrams per deciliter in women. Number 4 is hypertension. High blood pressure puts you at greater risk for many diseases and can seriously damage your blood vessels. The marker for metabolic syndrome is a blood pressure of greater than 130/85. And number 5, elevated fasting blood sugar. This one directly relates to insulin resistance. Sadly, it's not a terribly common test run by conventional doctors, so you may not have ever actually had this checked. It's really easy to do. You can even do it at home with a simple glucose monitor. Those at greater risk have a fasting glucose over 100 milligrams per deciliter. Whew! So there you have the 5 markers: increased waist circumference, elevated triglycerides, low HDL cholesterol, elevated blood pressure, and elevated fasting blood sugar. 88% of the population have at least one of these 5 markers. If you have any of these markers and you want to reverse them, check out my free class. I'll drop a link below in the description. None of these are life sentences. Through great nutrition and lifestyle strategies, although not what's conventionally taught, you can join the 12%ers. And if you are a 12%er already and you want to keep it that way, you'll definitely want the information in the free class as well.